Yeah, hi. It's bad right now, guys. It's not
Why,
good. I'll
Brad?
tell you that much. I think that a lot of people who are in like healthcare fields, if they were ever doubting, themselves in that field, like maybe they should find something different, something that's not as like crazy or I guess organic, something more structured. If they were ever
Mhm.
questioning that, then COVID really was like figured out because you're either in it or you're not.
Wow. So we'll take us through
It's
like a day to day.
I mean, okay, so the first wave, people were like, is it really as bad as, it seems, as they're
Mhm.
saying and, as they're taking it. And at that time, it didn't seem like it, to be honest with you. It did not, because what happened was our unit, personally, like our unit went on outbreak because of the staff getting sick and patients getting COVID. And it was, honestly, it wasn't that bad for a while for us because we stopped taking in admissions. So our unit at one point only had like 12 patients and we still had like at least 5 or 6 nurses. So each nurse had
Mhm.
like two patients. So we thought, hey, it's not that bad. But as things got worse, we started to realize that like we started getting like heavier and heavier patients, meaning like I don't know if it was because of the isolations and the things that we put on people, but it seemed like the elderly specifically, if not like directly being hit by COVID, being indirectly hit by it was so bad. Mostly on I think the social aspect of things. I don't think that anybody ever realized how much we need social interaction. Like you would think that with how much we can get into, this I don't know, this fake society or digital society that we
Mhm.
didn't rely on it so much on physical interaction and talking to people face to face. But like we're finding that things like FaceTime just aren't enough anymore. Like at
True.
first I was like, oh wow, look, people can still talk to their families, one to one on a little screen. At least that's something, but it's just not enough. It's not the same thing. Patients, old people that are confused and lost, don't know where they are. They're just crying out for someone to stand there, hold their hand. They don't want to be
Wow.
alone. They don't want to feel nothing. And it's like the nurses don't have time either. And people that we used to have walking around the hospital, like volunteers and stuff, that would talk to the elderly. Even back then, they had so many to talk to that they would spend like maybe an hour tops or whatever with the patient. Maybe it was 2 hours. I'm not sure exactly because I was too busy to notice. But they didn't have that much time to spend with them, and it wasn't enough back then. But now we don't even have a lot of those volunteers or a lot of those people that do that because of COVID. So we just can't
Mhm.
allow that many people in and out of the hospital, like unnecessary traffic. But I
Of
don't know, like
course.
you can make the argument that it is necessary. The thing is, though, a lot of those people that were volunteers were elderly people who were just volunteering their time to talk to other people. So they're even more at risk. So it's better for them to not come in and put themselves at risk. It's been really hard for the elderly. I would say it's hit them so much that people can't begin to realize until you watch, because there's like a trend
Mhm.
at the end of life of care with the elderly. A lot of the times, they get worse. One time they'll fall, they'll get maybe a fracture, maybe they won't get a fracture. It'll be like a near miss kind of situation, and they get back. They're a little bit worse when they go home. They're a little banged up, but
Mhm.
for the most part, they can still take care of themselves. But then the next time, they fall again, they come to the hospital, they deteriorate at a
Over
certain
time. Yeah.
gradual degree. Yeah, but I'm finding that these days, not seeing their families, not seeing motivation to leave the hospital, right, as much, they're they're declining faster. They're declining faster, and there's this I don't know, maybe this is just a theory of mine, maybe it's not really what happens, but it's just like a trend that I noticed or I think is happening. Because like with the grain of rice, with just my perspective, I guess I don't do like actual research on this stuff or studies. It's just my raw experience.
Yeah, well, you're right there in
um
front of it all.
but I find that what I find is that these old people, they're stuck staring at a boring wall. Maybe it has like a whiteboard where we write our name and maybe a smiley face if we feel like we're having a good day that day. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might say the right date there if we, cared to update it or
Mhm.
had time to. They might have a clock there, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Um, but yeah, I can only imagine how boring it is. Like we couldn't sit still like that for hours, let alone days and weeks.
Of course.
And yeah, man, it's heavy stuff. It's heavy stuff. Like I don't even know the perspective from the outside. I don't watch the news as much as some people might. I don't know. I can't keep up with these restrictions, like the lockdowns and stuff. Like
Yeah, they're sporadic. They're in other
with
areas.
Mississauga here, we're in this we're in a gray thing. I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. I have no idea. All I
Like
know
what?
is that I go to work and I see some crap there, and then I come home, and that's pretty much it. That's all I can do. I have to grab stuff from the store once in a while, but really, it's like I don't even have like a side of the fence to sit on. People are like, should we shut down? Should we not shut down? I'm like, honestly, I can see both sides. Like, I get it. After seeing how much we've been impacted socially, and after seeing how much COVID is, I don't know. Like between the direct and the indirect effects
Of
of COVID, I
course.
think that the decisions that have to be made are just way too complex to like put on even a government. Like there's so many factors,
Yeah, there's so many
way too
nuances
many
involved.
factors.